Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to TwoCrazyShuckers Creations. Today we are going to use some of these. I have some sterling bezels coming, and they're coming from a maker on Etsy. But today we're gonna have a little fun with these. I have some florals from Resiners that I want to put in these, some dried flowers. As you can see, I have about every color imaginable. We have our Resiners double-sided lamp here as well that we can work on. I'm pretty sure we can work on this. Also, from the last video, these are the dangles that I made with that little Tennessee mold from Crafty 787. So today we're going to experiment a little bit, have a little bit of fun. None of the Christmas earrings that I made, those little studs made it, unfortunately. What I am going to do is take some of this resin tape. You can buy this anywhere. You can get it on Amazon. You can find it on Let's Resin. I think every resin company has it. What I'm going to do today is create a little area to work on. So what I'm going to do is just kind of wrap it around one popsicle stick. I don't know if you can see this or not. Other people make this look so easy, and I struggle with it. So I wrap it around a couple times and get it stuck down pretty good. Then I go ahead and cut the other side. Get one side stuck down, because you need this to create, these are open bezels. So you're going to be creating, you know, the back side of your floral. And we're going to use Let's Resin UV resin today. We're going to try pre-tinted, and then we may even try tinting some of it as well. They have some great new alcohol inks that we are in love with. I don't know how people make this look so easy. I don't know why I struggle with it, but I sure do. Maybe they're sticking this part down first. Maybe that's how they're doing it. I don't know. Anyway, here I go. Doing the best that I can. Hopefully you can see that okay. Let me take a look in the thing. Okay, that looks good. Okay. So these are just an alloy metal earring. And the thing to remember is this part is not going through the ear. So, you know, you don't have to worry quite as bad. This actual set off Amazon, which I'll try to remember to link, comes with gold and silver. So we might do one in each color, just because I have the gold filled ear wires that we can put on. The important part is to make sure, wait, I know I see something I don't care for. You see how there's an extra kind of a loop there? We're going to remove that loop. Let me see if I can remove that. Just going to try and cut it out of there. I want to cut it, but I don't want to distort the other loops. Okay, that pulled out quite easily. See, now that loop is gone out of there. What I am going to do is take my Dremel, which, as you know, I cannot show. I'm just going to smooth that area out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to show you what I did here. So all I did was I took my wire and I took that loop out. Then I took my Dremel and I just kind of smoothed that area out. Sorry. Hopefully you can see that okay. And I'm going to get the other one done. That's a personal choice. You might, I guess you could use these to hang like a gemstone bead or a charm or something there. However, we're going to fill that with resin and the florals today. I can't believe I think I just broke my tool. I did. What in the world? That's crazy. I can't believe I just broke the tip off my cutters. They're like a flush cutter. That is some crazy stuff right there. So you could do this in a mold as well. I just wanted to show you, we've done a lot of our earring tutorials and videos using a mold, and I wanted to show you other ways of using the UV resin. But at the moment, this one is giving me a hard way to go. That one's going to take a little bit more. Let me find another pair of clippers since I've broke these. Well, I guess I should have done this before. Okay, let me clear this out now that I have that. And all I'm doing is using, I'm sorry, I apologize that it is off camera, but my Dremel, the way I have it hooked up, is I just, well, actually, I can use this way. I'm going to show you. I turn on my Dremel, and even though it's a drill bit, I just run the drill bit and just I'm just smoothing out that area. So now there's no sharp edge. Seems to be a little bit of resin stuck to the end of my Dremel. And I'm just going to take and make sure that's smoothed on both sides. I don't know what kind of metal these are. But it doesn't matter because this part isn't going in your ear. So okay, we want to make sure that these are stuck down very well to the tape. So it's probably not really good to push down on your lamp tray that much, but it's done now. So I think on this pair, I'm going to start, I'm actually going to pick out my florals first. Okay, let's go. Valentine's Day is coming up, so let's see what we have in these colors. I have never used these yet from Resiners. I have a Resiners box that I need to unbox with you too. They sent me an amazing resin mixer, resin preheater, and in the background you will hear my air purification going as well. So, oh, I love those. The greens. Oh, I really love those. Those little chrysanthemums were adorable in there. And I always love Queen Anne's lace. And maybe down in this part, What if we didn't put any florals down in that part for now, and we just used our Let's Resin pre-tinted white? And all I want to do is kind of fill in this area. I'm not going to fill it all at once. I'm just going to let it kind of flow into the spot. Because as you can see there, I went above the little frame area. So I need a couple of different tools. Let's go with, I need something with a bit of an end. That's perfect. To get it off the metal and kind of move it into spot a little bit. Just kind of coax it there. So all we're going to do is kind of gently nudge that up into the areas that we want it to go into. So I'm going to use the dotting tool, the dot side, you know, the rounded edge. But I also want to make sure that I'm getting all that white off the metal. Hope you had a happy holiday. It was definitely a wonderful Christmas here in the Shucker house. As always, we had a beautiful Christmas with our family and with our neighbors and friends. So instead of adding any more at this time, as you can see, the Resiners florals, dried florals, always come with these cute little tweezers, which that could have been bad. So what I'm going to do is I want to put a little bit of a cure on this. I do want a little bit more white in this side over here. I hope you can see this okay. Just let it sit for a moment and the bubbles will kind of work their way up to the top. And then you can either use a tool to get rid of them, which that is my preference when it comes to the white pre-tinted UV resin from Let's Resin, because I do find the flame will leave a little bit of a char mark on there. So as you can see, there's some little areas up in here that are, you know, also void. I'm not going to fill that in with the white. I think I'm going to leave that for now. And let's use a white background with our florals. We'll use a nice bright colored floral for this pair. And then I'll show you a little bit different way of doing them as well. So I'm just going to let that flow as I did before. Just a little bit. You could also do clear with this as well, which we can do that. But I thought the white would be a really fun thing to try. And I'm going to let that come up just a little bit. Kind of from the side, I'm going to take a look. Make sure I don't have any bubbles or empty spots. It's looking good. If you choose to, very lightly, you have to remember you have your tape back there as well. So you don't want to leave any marks on that. So I'm going to go ahead, close up the Resiner's lamp. I'm going to keep mine down just a little bit, and you have to do the long hold to turn it on, and we're going to do it 2 minutes. While that's doing that, I'm going to go through and choose the flowers that we're going to use. these come beautifully packaged too. So let's take a look and see what we have here. Okay. So I have my little tweezers. I really like these little chrysanthemums a lot. So I'm going to put those to the side. I don't know, does that match? I don't know if that's too big or not. Just have to see. I always love Queen Anne's lace. It's always a great little filler for the back. You just want to make sure you get them going the right way. So then I'm going to take and very carefully pick those up. As you can see, that one right there flipped over. So I'm just going to flip it back. There you go. I'm really liking this one. I think better than this one. And I think I want a little bit of greenery. So I'm going to try to get out one piece of greenery to use the pieces off of. Wow, 2 minutes goes by so fast, huh? I don't know if that, I think that's too large. Let's take these off too, just in case. And see what we come up with. Oof. So delicate. Okay, I'm gonna set this down here. I'm gonna move this out of the way for just a moment. So let me get my flowers all sitting down here so that I don't ruin them. I gotta tell you, it got real cold in here, cold in our state. We had a very warm Christmas, like 70 degrees, warm outside, short sleeve shirts and all that, to down below freezing all in a day. We had some storms come through and high winds and stuff. So that's been a hard adjustment. So what I'm gonna do first is I wanna see what kind of room I have. So what for me, that means I'm just gonna place this here. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do with this. I'm gonna take these little leaves here and I'm just gonna pluck off one on each side. You have to be very careful with these. I'm just gonna lay one there because I might have to cut the end off. And then I really like this one as its kind of match. Oops. So that's pretty close. I'm just going to take and snip off this end to make sure I have kind of enough room for it. Yes. Okay. I got to snip the end off this one. And then I got to take all this back out. Okay. So now, as you can see, in 2 minutes, that's cured from both the bottom and the top. So we've got a good area to work with. I prefer to put a just 2 drops, basically, of clear hard type. I'm going to move it around with my dotting tool. It's kind of like a glue at this point, okay? So then we just move it around, move it around, move it around. It will self-level. That's the amazing thing about Let's Resin's UV resin. I also received from Let's Resin their, let me get that, I want to show it to you. UV resin starter kit, which I'm going to make that into another video, and we're going to go over several different things in this kit that you can use to get you started on your UV resin journey, you know, making jewelry and stuff. I think there's keychains in there. There's all kinds of different little things. So now we're going to take and make sure we got all the bubbles out of that little kind of gluey. And it also, the little bit of heat will help level that out a little bit. Then we go into placing our florals, which I have to pull my sleeves up for this part. We have to make sure we got things, you know, about the right length. So first we're going to put our floral in. Now I think I'm going to take that piece off and I'm going to cut that a little bit and put that on this side. Remember, nothing is stuck until you cure it, so you can keep moving it around as much as you'd like. I guess I should have kept that one little piece over there. That's okay. So now let's put this here to try and cover that up a little bit down at the bottom. They're not going to match perfectly, but you can get them to match pretty good, you know. They can look like, they don't have to look like, you know, sisters. They can look like cousins. So then I'm going to take, thought I was going to use those. I'm glad I dug these out because these seem to be the perfect little addition right there. Oh, it's gone underneath my tape. Sorry about that. Now, as you can see, those are cute. I'm not going to put these on, so I want to put them back in the packaging so that they stay dry. I try to keep them all in one container. Now, what you could do is add some of the pink petals down there if you wanted to. You could add some silver foil down there. You could add some little glitter, whatever you want. Let's see about, I'm going to take and cut that in half. I'm not sure I'm going to keep this yet, but it's always fun to play and see what you can come up with. I'm going to take another piece of this out of here so that I kind of have a couple pieces of different. I'm going to cut them both in half with my scissors to the best you can. It's not an easy thing to do. So I'm going to take this and move it around a little bit because, like, again, this is kind of like your glue to hold everything down, and then we're going to dome it. So basically with this, what you can do is just I may need to cut that again. I'm going to cut this one again. And I'm going to cut this again. And I'm going to wipe my scissors off really fast because I don't want the resin to cure onto my nice scissors, which I just dropped. Okay, so then I'm just going to take some of these little pieces and create a little, I don't think I put any at the bottom of this one. Just need a little bit. Less is more as you're building these layers. Just going to move it around a little bit. As you can see, I still have some of the flowers stuck there. I'm going to stick this piece, I don't know, kind of right there. It's a little more intact than I'd like. It's okay. As you can see, you can have a little play around and just move it around till it's kind of where you want it, or that, you know, you're pleased with how it looks. No, I am not pleased with that piece right there. So I'm going to take that and just kind of pull it apart a little bit. Just like that. And then I'm just going to put some of these extra pieces over there that I have. Just going to keep adding all these little pieces in. I do keep the plastic on the top part of my little shelf of my lamp. I do that with all my lamps. Actually, they all have the protective coating on there. I do like that I can take it off later because I do tend to, you know, use it as a tray to work, oh, you know, a little workspace. So those don't look bad at all to me. I think that that's a cute pair of earrings. Now I'm going to show you what we have to do to finish them. But first, we need to let that cure for, you know, a couple minutes again. So remember, with the resiners, it's a long hold. It automatically goes to 2 minutes. So then all you have to do is just wait that 2 minutes out. So again, it's not a necessity to dome the front because, well, you're going to have to put something over the top. How far you go with that doming is going to be up to you. Either you're going to dome over the metal and the whole thing, which if you want to get a good dome, use the high viscosity, then it'll be, you know, more of a rounded dome and it won't run off the edges of the metal. So I'm going to show you actually how to do that. While we're waiting on that, I'm going to get out the jump rings that we need to make them into a pair of earrings. I think we're going to go with our usual, which is we use House of Gems, a 6mm 18 gauge open jump ring, sterling silver. And I lost that somewhere. There, go ahead. You could also go 6mm on that and it would cut down your cost by a few cents. But I'm going to go with our usual 7 just because I like the movement of a 7mm with a 6mm jump ring. I'm going to put those to the side. These again, House of Gems, sterling silver, open jump rings. We use an 18 gauge. And then we'll get out a pair of ear wires, which I like the Fire Mountain Gems. These are a lightweight, super light, 14 millimeter, sterling silver. You get 25 pair in the package. They're 14 millimeter. Wow, I'm on the struggle bus today. We have several kinds of ear wires that we use. No rhyme or reason, but I do. Where did that one go? There it is. Okay. As long as I know it's out there. I can put all that stuff away now. Okay, let's put these away. And let's get our tray open. Get our ear wire over here. So as you can see, everything is solid. And it's adhered very well. So this is your choice. You take your artistry where you want it to go, kind of thing. Wow, I got a desk a mess. I am going to choose to resin dome the entire area as one piece. And I'm going to do one to a time. As you can see, the higher viscosity does not run. It stays, you know, better in place, and it allows you to move it where you want it. So for me, I want to make sure I'm going just along the edge of that metal. We need to fill in that little area there that we didn't fill in with the white. And then I'm going to just move the resin, trying not to break that bead along the edge. So it's always easier to look from like a kind of a side view than looking straight on as well. And I'm even going to take it over that edge there so that it just fills that in nicely. Now, I do like I can hear somebody on YouTube on my TV talking about using bezels. That's funny. My TV is constantly on YouTube. I love watching resin creators. Actually, I like watching a variety of things on YouTube. I guess we all probably have our go-to YouTube channels. And when I start doing more two-part epoxy videos, you'll probably see influence from a lot of two-part epoxy people. I'm very small compared to them, but so I want to make sure that I've covered over all the florals. So sometimes you have to get down to like eye level and make sure that it's all covered in nicely, which I do like that a lot. I'm going to put another couple drops just because that little daisy seems to have a little bit of more height right in that middle part. So I'm just going to add that little bit right there. As you can see, high viscosity is very thick. Just remember, when you add heat to it, it changes the viscosity. So you're going to be more tempted to get drips and dribbles and all that. So before I do the other, I'm going to give this a quick 2-minute cure. Remember to give that a long pause, press to turn it on, and then you just go down here and hit this one, and it goes to how many minutes you'd like to have. This lamp is great. It has an 8-minute setting. There is nothing in UV resin that I can think of that takes more than 8 minutes. So I would really like to find some blue florals. And we'll do maybe some clear with some blue florals. I have so many dried flowers. You just seen the ones that I hadn't opened. But I really do. But blue florals do not sell as well, oddly enough. I've done them in a mold, done them several different ways. I believe some of these are from Let's Resin. So, oh, there's some blues. I love that color blue. Empty packet. Those I think from Michael's. Those are from wherever. These little, like, what are these? Like pansy violets or something? Those are cute too. I think we're going to go with these for now. I got out some blues while that's curing. Maybe we'll do some blue in one of the gold ones. So what I'll do is while that's curing, I'll try to get this little notch taken out of the middle up here. As you can hear, it cuts out pretty easily. And I'll use a gold filled ear wire for these. Now I am going to kind of do this part with my Dremel away from my lamp where it's curing. Bear with me just a moment. Okay, so now the gold pair is ready. Just takes a few seconds, but see, you can take that out and then clear out that little sharp area. We're going to resin that in anyway. I just want to make sure that that gold matches my gold filled ear wires pretty well. Silver, you don't ever have to worry about that, but gold sometimes is tricky to work with. It like comes in several different colors. Really loving how that looks. That came out really well. So what I'm going to do now, you don't have to use dried florals either. I mean, you could use your pre-tinted UV resin from Let's Resin. We did a keychain tutorial, their little kit that comes with the pre-tinted colors. And you can buy just the colors as well. They're great to work with. You could put some mica powder in these. You don't have to do them with the dried florals. I just think that dried florals right now in earrings is really popular. It's a pretty hot commodity. If you want to start a little sideline of making jewelry and doing, you know, local craft shows or, you know, market events, this is a good way to get started. I would love to try clay earrings. I've thought about it. But I have several friends that make clay earrings and they're really good at it. So I'm going to let them handle that part of the biz. And all I'm going to do, I do have some bubbles that you can clearly see on there. So I gave that one quite a little fire. But everything's covered up good. I'm going to dome that a little bit at that middle part, right in the part of that little like daisy flower. Just to make sure that I have that, you know, the little center covered well. What do you think so far? And, you know, sterling silver is expensive. So you're talking literally $1 compared to $5. If I do this bezel and it's in sterling, it's $5 or $6 easy. Some that are larger are like $7 or $8. So this is a good way to, you know, start even just practicing. These are great practice bezels. Also from Amazon, I got this little package, which I will try to remember to link all of these. Now, the key thing about when you're buying your bezels, not all bezels come with that top loop. So these are a high quality stainless bezel, but there is no loop at the top. So you have to think about that when you're creating your design. You're going to have to drill at some point in the bezel through your resin to create the earring. So I'm not sure yet. This is probably another project in itself. Like I said, I've gotten on Etsy and I have ordered from a company in California that does sterling silver bezels. And I am going to do a tutorial using those bezels because yes, they cost more, but once you get practiced with these more, you know, inexpensive type bezels, you can do it in sterling and really refine your, you know, your art. Bear with me just a moment. I'm going to turn the TV down just to make sure we're not getting a whole bunch of copyright infringements from their videos that are playing. Okay, sorry about that. Hopefully it's low enough now that you don't hear it. So here we have, which I hit the button. I'm going to turn that off. Bear with me. I just got to clean my tool off real quick. I do not recommend spraying your UV resin before you cure it with the 99% alcohol. It leaves it warpy and bubbly. So I don't recommend that. Some people do, and I grant them all the good luck in the world with that. I do not have good luck with it. Well, I was going to try and keep my tape intact for the gold pair, but that's not going to happen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take that off the back. Oh, much harder than you think. They were adhered very nicely. So you just rip that off. And as you can see, the back is finished quite good. But as I do with all of our earrings, I put a coat of gel nail polish on. Why do you ask? Because gel nail polish is very easy. It's, you know, it's nice on the skin. So now, as you can see right here, I got some issues. It seeped underneath the tape a little bit and it got onto the metal. I don't really like how that looks finish wise. So I'm just going to take my crafting knife and I'm just going to pull that off that metal area. This is a personal choice. I just want that to kind of show a little bit. So I am going to take and wipe this off to make sure there's no tape residue. And I am going to create a little bit more work. As you can see, a simple go over of a baby wipe that is got a little bit of alcohol on it is perfect enough to clean that little sticky tape residue off. So personally, I don't care for the lows and highs in that. So what I'm going to do before I add that is I am going to put this knife out of the way so I don't hurt myself. I'm going to take some regular UV hard type and I'm just going to dome the back side before I add the gel polish. It's fully cured on the back. There's no issues at all. I just don't like the unfinished feeling of it. So all I do is just very carefully move the resin to the edge, making it a nice flat domed coating. You can tell when I'm thinking because then I start to say a lot mostly. I'm going to kind of hold that with that. I'm just going to move it. You could use the high viscosity for this if you want. I've just gotten to the point where I'm just as comfortable using the other. So I'm just going to work it to that edge. Boy, I hope I'm in frame. I haven't checked if I'm in frame or not in the last few minutes. Then I'm going to wipe the resin off. That looks really good. Let's check and see how far in frame I am. Yes, I'm there. It's never a bad thing. Where did I just set that tool? Now we have our other one. I'm just going to use this little stylus. I use this from everything from weeding vinyl to moving resin around. You name it. This thing is, these tools I use for everything. It's very pointy though, and I have stuck it into myself before too. So, just gonna nicely move that to the edge till we're happy with where we've coated it to. So I'm 100% happy with that. Oh, I got another little mold that we could put florals in too. I guess that could be another day. I'm trying to get my videos shorter for you because I do find that, you know, it's not easy to dedicate a whole hour and a half or more to watching a video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on for 2 minutes because I wonder if I just hit that. No. I'm still gonna add the gel polish to the back side. Like I said, it's a personal preference. You do you. You do what's right for you. But I always have that fear of the earrings, you know, touching the skin, the resin. Now, it is important to remember that UV resin is fast curing. So if you do 2-part epoxy, and even like marine type epoxies, there are Tumbler epoxies. There's a little bit of everything out there these days. There's food grade epoxy. There's tabletop. Tabletop would probably be as soon as it's cured, which is about 2 weeks. It would be safe to touch the skin. But you have to remember that UV resin, when it's hardened, it's done. So that means you can put it on and wear it immediately. And I've done it before. So that's why I started with UV. Because of the importance. Excuse me, I needed a drink. Because of the importance of being able to wear it as soon as possible. Yeah, we're already at 50 minutes. So it looks like we're going to get one pair of earrings done today. That's okay. Because what I will do is I will make the gold pair off camera and I will show you what they look like at the end in photos. Just to give you some ideas. And then maybe we'll get to another video of using some, I've got so many new molds. Live, Love, Glitter. I just got some cute molds for her, from her. Some cute little heart molds for, you know, Valentine's Day is coming up. So, again, this right here, this is a step you don't have to do. This is a step I choose to do for what I sell. It makes me feel safer offering this product to people. And for myself included, wearing them. I still put this on the back of mine. So I will do that gold set off camera. I'm so sorry. Maybe I'm long-winded. Maybe it's good for people to see that it does take a little bit to create a pair of earrings. That it's not an immediate thing. You don't just, you know, stick the resin and go for it. And I'm not that good at editing yet to know how to fast forward certain parts and how to, you know, fade in, fade out. I'm not good with all that. I try to be. Well, there goes one of my lights. Let me get that back on. This lamp seems to be doing that during every video. And I'm not sure why. Okay, so now this only takes 60 seconds to cure. So I'm going to put it on for the 2 minutes. And I'm going to get out my tools to assemble my earrings. I'm going to pick up a little bit of things here. And get out my assembly tools. Which basic jewelry tools are a pair of just regular tipped needle nose pliers. And then I like these bent up tip ones. I have 2 pairs of these just because I feel like getting the jump rings open is a little bit easier with those. So easy to do. You can use these facing downward or upward. I'm going to put the 7, as I usually do, in the actual metal part of these earrings. Was that 2 minutes? Holy cow. So first, you just take this, put it through there, and then you want to close that up and get that closed as closely as possible. I also do this little thing like this that kind of puts it together without putting a bunch of marks on my earring. So then we take the 6mm. As you can see, that is still not together right. I do not like that at all. So let's try and get it very close and tightened. Which one's the smaller one? And then 6mm probably would have been fine for these. You want to make sure your ear wire is going the right way so that when you put the earring in, the front is to the front. We offer a rubber ear nut with all of our earrings. just take and tighten everything up. Make sure it's flat and there's no gap. It's very important with sterling that you go very gently because you will leave tool marks if you're not gentle. So then what I like to do is I take a little bit, which I need to fill my alcohol containers, and I just go over the earring front and back to make sure that it's not sticky. Water works just as good. Soap and water works great, but I'm in a workroom. So there you have it. I'm going to get an earring cord, and I will get a set of ear nuts. Come over here. Well, maybe I will. Oh, clear to the back. So we're doing a big craft room redo here, and we are going to be installing like built-ins and some storage, just organizing things a little bit. You know how it is when you're a multi-crafter. There are, you know, you have so many different things that you work on. We do sublimation, so see how the back is, it's finished nicely. And we like need to work out a way, you know, you have your Cricut machines. We have 2 different printers, the sublimation printer, the sticker printer. So we're definitely going to get into doing a few more built-in ideas. How do you organize your craft room? I mean, this is like my resin area, which I have got to figure out a way to make it more cohesive. So when I want to start doing 2-part epoxy, then I'm in this area as well. And right now, my 2-part stuff is shifted over here, my heat press. I mean, my heat mat. And, you know, that it's to the right of where I work, mainly right here. So I've got to work at a way of getting this area of my desk cleared and this storage, you know, just a little bit easier. Enough about that. Sorry for rambling on. So anyway, this is another great way to use your UV resin. Look how pretty those are. Perfect for Valentine's Day. I'm going to list these in our shop, and I'm going to get a gold pair made. I think I'm going to use blue, maybe with some clear, with some gold filled. I think that's what I'm going to do. So thank you for watching. Be sure to check out all the links in the description for resiners. I will make sure that I put the link for these and these bezels. Resiners is where my florals mostly come from. Your tape, you can get this anywhere. Don't forget, Let's Resin. Their UV resin rocks. I mean, rocks. Our cards, our custom earring cards, are made by, she's an Etsy seller. Her name is My Paper Crafts, is the name of her Etsy shop. She does all of our product cards. Great seller. Works quickly. Works to specifications like crazy. Also, we'll be listing these home Tennessee earrings as well. I'll finish those up. I'll have a picture of those at the end as well. I want to thank you all for watching today. Hopefully, I didn't keep you too long. And Watch out for the next video. I'm going to get better at doing maybe one a week. I'm not making any promises. But from us here to wherever you are, have a happy new year. And thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye for now.